Let's talk a little bit about CRO today, as in the last 24 hours, I've seen two headlines talking about the massive wipeout of market cap for the Cronos token, which, as I've been watching this story unfold, it's not surprising. And I'm going to walk through this a little bit more today because this is the second headline I've seen about it. But the big news for this video is crypto.com unveiling margin derivatives license, changing the US trading terrain. Getting approved by the CFTC for derivatives licenses in the USA. What does this mean? What could it mean? And we're going to dive into this press release from crypto.com a little bit and talk about the significance of this story, as the crypto market right now is still showing a little bit of weakness. Here's Bitcoin stuck below $110,000. ETH is back above 4,000, and the CRO token is currently sitting at rank number 23, still at 18 cents, as we did see a little bit of a green candle here yesterday, but a rejection off this green trend line, which I discussed yesterday. What does this mean? Let's talk about it all in this video. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I am Crypto Kip. Do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more crypto content like this, and check out the affiliates in the description down below if you want to trade all this amazing volatility in these crypto markets. There is so much opportunity to trade the chop, and in the description of this video, I do have some sign-up bonuses for you, and another one coming. Actually, we're going to be putting it in later today, so get ready for that. But check out BitsitX and Blowfin if you haven't already signed up. And let's kick this thing off. And I'm going to get to the CFTC story because I think this is the biggest story of the day. But I really quickly want to revisit this conversation right here. You may or may not have seen this headline coming through lately. CRO token wipes out over $6 billion. And if you didn't know anything about Cronos, or if you were in the crypto space but you weren't paying attention to the CRO token, you might have seen it pump, not paid attention to it too much, knew that it was rallying on this presidential Trump media partnership announcement. Now a headline comes out, it wipes out $6 billion. It sounds very bad. But what you need to understand is the facts behind it. Crypto.com posted this news on August 26th. That's when this announcement came out. President's Media Group, CRO Strategy, has announced a $6.4 billion in funds to build America's Cronos treasury, which, funnily enough, they have $6.4 billion that is going to be there to fund the treasury. Look at the market cap right now at 6.5. This is not all the president's funds, okay? But it's interesting how the value of CRO is right now sitting at the amount they have to actually buy the thing, which means, I guess, what is that at? Fair value, you might say. Sure. I think it should be higher. But the negative connotation to the story is, I think it's unfair, because here's the facts of it. On August 26th, the CRO coin token was sitting right here. This daily giant green candle from 15 cents. All of a sudden, the news comes out. CRO coin shot up 164% in 2 days after this announcement. And so what we had was it valued at about a $5 billion market cap. And now it's currently sitting at a $6.5 billion market cap, still higher than it was prior to this announcement. But what the reality of the situation is when you see the announcement come out, you should expect a pump like this. It came out of nowhere. It got exciting, frothy. We broke through some levels of resistance, 20 cents, broke straight through to 37 cents, wicked through a little bit and had a rejection, and then a little bit of a sell-off to follow the exciting pump. This all makes sense. And you see headlines saying 6 billion came off the market cap. Well, it's right back to where it was, really. And I think it's kind of at this fair value moment right now, given the general weakness of this crypto market. We're still waiting on the total market cap for altcoins to break out. We're not seeing new highs for total market cap. The move for CRO made sense with the news story, but it wasn't really the time for CRO to break through the 37 cent level, which is why that's something I called out on this channel. And again, as you see these levels for yourself, you can trade this stuff, guys. I use BitTinex. I use Blowfin. There are sign-up bonuses if you haven't taken advantage of them already. Whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, or CRO, or any of your favorite altcoins, I think there's tremendous opportunities to be trading around with the chop, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to give you financial advice, but when I look at, the announcement and the timing of it, and I look at the price action, this all lines up and makes sense. And I just kind of get aggravated that these headlines come out. Everybody likes to kick things while they're down. The reality is, though, is that CRO is still up from prior to this announcement. And I wouldn't be surprised if we actually slipped a little bit lower if the general market, continues to fall. But I'll talk more about that in other videos. I want to jump over to this idea because I think this is the most important news story of the day, which is very significant for the Crypto.com exchange. Crypto.com unveils margin derivatives license, changing the U.S. trading terrain. Welcome to a pivotal moment in the cryptocurrency trading. Crypto.com has just nabbed itself a margin derivatives license from the U.S. Commodities Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC. And by the way, we've seen how cozy Crypto.com has been getting with the CFTC. Just this week, taking a photo with the head of the CFTC, along with the head of Ripple, Coinbase, Circle, and Tether as well. And now here, they've got this announcement within just days after that. And this is not just a win for Crypto.com. This is a seismic shift for U.S. investors who have long awaited access to advanced trading mechanisms. Essentially, leverage trading will now become available for Crypto.com users, which is something you just haven't seen. And the U.S. has historically been a little bit skittish on offering these crypto products through some of these mainstream exchanges. You had to go to some of these other exchanges to get that, which is, one of the reasons why we have all these affiliates in the description down below. And some of you guys might be like, well, why don't you talk about trading on, Crypto.com? Well, because these exchanges have been doing it for a while. They've got very easy platforms and it's there. And still, even though this is approved, I'm going to be curious to see what the limitations of this, because some exchanges out there, that are going to have limitations, you might still only be able to do like 10x, where on a, one of these other platforms, you could do like 20x, you could do 50x, you could do 100x if you wanted to. And there's some out there you can do 500x. And in fact, we're actually going to add an affiliate for one of those later. And do your own research, my friends. The more leverage you use, the more risky the actual trade is. You should definitely understand that. A lot less wiggle room before a potential liquidation. But this is something that a lot of people like to do. This is why I talk about it every day, because it's a very real part of the crypto market. And I think you have to be aware of that. And of course, Crypto.com is able to go, on social media and talk about the significant milestone. And so what they've got going on right now is actually they do have a press release out explaining this a little bit more. But basically, all you need to know is that they are adding more solutions and more products that previously, under the prior regulatory regime run by the head of the SEC, Gary Gensler, and even the CFTC in the past, you wouldn't have seen this thing come through. But here it is. The CFTC is a very pro-crypto entity now, and we are seeing significant progress for this crypto market overall. And it means a lot for the US. There's going to be many other exchanges that are going to get these things approved. As I continue to watch the volatility of these markets, I'm going to keep an eye on, all the opportunities for trading. I use Bit10X. I use Blowfin. Check them out in the description below if you haven't done so already. Looking forward to seeing how this actually plays out for Crypto.com and how their actual margin derivatives trading ends up working. But that is all I have in this one, guys. I am Crypto Kip. This is a Crypto Report. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I got one more bit for you. Let's actually look at the chart for CRO. I do believe that we did see, a little bit of a green candle rejection off this 20-cent level. We could be coming down to the 16-cent target I've been talking about. Keep an eye out for 10 cents as well. If Bitcoin slips down to $100,000, CRO could be at a risk of slipping back down to 10 cents. And I just want to put it out there for you guys so it's my mind's on it. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to give financial advice. Do your own research, my friends. But that's the video for you today. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. DCA. Hold on, my friends. I got 2 videos here if you want to check them out. I'll see you in the next one, y'all. Peace.